But I will, however, say that the rewards are massive. I've never made $25,000 in a month teaching. It's crazy. It was a lot of work to get there, but it's happening. And I feel like this is just the beginning. Like $25,000 months feel like they're going to be the norm. That's going to be like, well, yeah, it's $25,000 a month. I had a membership site for about 5 years before Seven Fig. It wasn't doing well at all. I probably had at the most ever maybe 45 students, which I thought was awesome. But some of them were in there for like $9 a month, my very beginning people. And then some of them were there for $29 a month. And I thought that was great.
Hmm.
Um, and then, and I give so much attention to that group. I was giving them 2 practice sessions a week live and writing all this material for them and creating all these things. And then Mark Walker said, "Man, I played a gig. I think he played a gig in LA with Arturo Sandoval, and I think Paul was on the gig.
Hmm.
And so they met and talked. And Mark's like, man, I joined this thing, and I think you should too. So I'm like, okay, great, let's do it. So I called you. We talked,
Yeah.
and I came in
Like, how much
mhm,
did you spend in ad spend before you got your first sale? Wasn't it like a couple hundred?
barely.
You were charging low ticket and nothing changed. The only thing that changed was you raised your prices, right?
Yes,
I think you were
I
able to
raised my
like
prices.
charge
Yeah.
your worth. And then from that, you were able to make the turn the 1200 a month into like the 20,000 cash collected in a single month just with that shift. So with that, what do you think has been the biggest like mindset shift for you in making this transition?
Um, owning or just really realizing and understanding my value, I guess. We always compare ourselves to what's going on in the market. And in the drumming world, you have a couple of big players who are charging $29 a month. And
Hmm.
then the biggest player in the market is charging $17 a month, but they have, 200,000 members.
Hmm.
And so it's like, do you try to beat that and go cheaper? And you can't beat thousands and thousands of hours with the biggest names in the business. So that whole thing of race to the bottom is, if you're not the very lowest price winner, then you have to be the highest price winner. And, when I thought about, okay, what am I charging my students? And I charge 150 an hour for a private lesson. So if someone takes 50 private lessons with me in a year and pay me the single price, that's $7,500.
Hmm.
So I'm like, this is actually way discounted. And when I started realizing that, then I have no problem saying it's $4,100. So it's cool. Like I feel like everyone is committed.
Hmm.
And another thing about the price, because no one's had an issue with the price. I've never had to like talk about the price. Um, they all are like, man, that seems like a really good deal. Because we do talk about how you have access to me for 200 hours in the year, 50 weeks times four. That ends up being $24 an hour for me to have me personally with you. The biggest takeaway so far has been to truly understand your value as an educator. Life changing for sure.
That's great. And then
And
last
yeah,
question, like what would you say to anyone kind of like on the fence if they were in similar shoes as you and they weren't sure whether or not to transition and get our help and use this model? What would you say to someone on the fence about doing something like this?
um, well, I'm a big believer in kind of stepping into the unknown and kind of trusting. And when you put some skin in the game, so to speak, it makes you take action a little more. Um, So when you kind of set that energy in motion of like, okay, I'm going to give seven figure X amount of money to train me to become someone who can do high ticket. And when you do that, when you make that sacrifice, it's like, okay, I better get serious about this. And you get to work. I mean, I always work hard, but I really worked hard when I joined Seven Fig because I had to redo all the things that I already done and rebrand and reshape it all. And it's a lot of work, but nothing worth having is comes easy. But I will, however, say that the rewards are massive. I've never made $25,000 in a month teaching. It's crazy. It was a lot of work to get there, but it's happening, and I feel like this is just the beginning. Like $25,000 months feel like they're going to be the norm. That's going to be like, well, yeah, it's $25,000 a month. We're
Wow.
rolling. We're staying smooth. I mean,
Yeah, and going,
that's
yeah.
only five, that's only one sale a week.
Just wanted to mention as well, like I've seen such an exponential growth with you. And the very first call that we had up until now, it's like a completely different person. So
Right?
congratulations. You should
Thanks.
be very proud. And all of us on the team, like I know they're like, yeah, get him on a call and like talk about his growth and those mindset shifts, like, because we're really proud of you. And like you said, this is just the beginning, right? And I'm holding you to it when you become a millionaire. You're taking us to dinner, right? I'm just kidding.
Oh, you better believe it. Absolutely. Yeah.